Morning everybody, I'm Luke Sullivan with Transwest Truck Trailer RV up here in Frederick, Colorado. Just off Interstate 25, 30 minutes north of Denver. You can't miss us. We've got a ton of inventory on the lot. And what I think in our horse trailer side of things, at least, in my opinion, one of our most popular trailers behind me. It's a 2+1 with a 5-foot tack. We've got a lot going on this one. This one is fully loaded out. We're on air ride with Werm flooring. We have a traveling partition that we can stow on our passenger side wall. So let's get right into it. We, like I said, got a lot going on. So first and foremost, we've all seen 2 5/16 inch gooseneck coupler. This is B&W and Cimmaron's third iteration of this style hitch. A lot of adjustability with it. We talk a lot, as something I miss maybe on a lot of my videos, is this clearance between our bed height and our trucks. All these late model manufacturers of these pickups are now making a lot taller trucks. So a lot harder to get that adjustment without losing some of that clearance and keeping our trailers level. So with this adjustable hitch, with some added clearance that Cimarron's added here for us, we get a lot of adjustability out of these. Can get our trailers riding level, we can get that clearance that we need. So 2 5/16 inch ball like we're all used to seeing. Big heavy duty safety chains. We got 2 of those. Even on your goosenecks, please use your safety chains. And then Cimarron, it's kind of small things with Cimarron. They do a nice little job. This is our breakaway cable for our brakes. Really like that it's coiled. It kind of keeps some of that clutter out of the back of our bed of our truck while we're getting things hooked up. And then we just stow it away there for a while while we're doing our videos. But we do have a 7-pin connection. We've got it into a little dummy box to run some lights for you, but standard 7-pin that we're all used to seeing. And then we'll really get into a lot of the systems of this trailer. We've got a lot more going on under here than just a jack and a spare tire. But while we're talking about it, here's our jack control right here. It is keyed, so we get a little bit of security out of that. I like that quite a bit. We can pull that key right out of there if we're leaving it in a parking lot overnight unattended. You just get a bit of added security with that. And then real easy up and down function runs our jack, and it's fast too. Really nice feature of that. So to run that jack, we've got a big 12-volt deep cycle battery in here. Standard on our 25 models is a RedArc charge controller. Really good for the health of our battery. And we've got a battery disconnect. Our suggestion, whether you're leaving it overnight or you're leaving it for the whole off season, turn that battery disconnect off. If you ever accidentally leave a tack room light on, if you ever accidentally leave your air ride on, that battery disconnect will turn everything off for you and ensure that you don't come back to a dead battery. So inside of this box as well, very well protected, is our air ride control system, self-contained system. Air ride is one of those things we've sold to a ton of customers that once they have it, they say they will never go back to a non-air ride trailer. So nice that we can stow it in this box here. We've got full functionality. Really, really easy system to use. We have an on-off switch, obviously. It's gonna run itself right around that 140 PSI mark. It will maintain that pressure on its own. And then you have a lower and a raise valve. And it's as simple as that. We've got it in the lower position right now. We see 3 to 4 inches of raise out of these when they're aired up. So really nice when you're loading, when you're unloading, when you're in and out of your tack room, to lower it down a little bit, make life a little bit easier for you. And make that angle of your ramps even a little less steep. So you have that ability. And then of course, before we hit the road, switch it over. Your compressor will kick on to keep up with things, obviously. And you've got that so that we don't have to listen to that. We're gonna turn all that back off. Underneath, we can see our electric over hydraulic jack. We do talk a little bit about all of these functions that run off of batteries. If you ever have an instance where your battery's dead, this is your fail-safe. It's as simple as pumping a car jack to change a tire in your shop. We can raise and lower this off our truck in any kind of emergency. So nice to be able to do that. And then we do have it spun around, but here's our matching full-size wheel and tire. Spun around, save a face a little bit, bring it up off the ground too so that it's not right behind our pickups. And nice to have that added into our tire rotation, added in, save a little bit of tire wear from everything else, and do things that way. So working our way around, one of the nicest things about these 2+1s is these oversized tack rooms. So first and foremost, you'll see an oversized door with a flip down step. There's no hardware on Cimarron steps. I think that's one thing that throws people off when they first get hands on with them. for sure. No hardware at all. It's on a little gas strut. Holds itself open, holds itself closed. Acts as kind of a soft close feature too when you're flipping it back up. Oversized tack room door. We'll pin this guy open. First and foremost, you see we're fully carpeted, and we added a brush tray at the bottom here. So we'll talk a little bit about this hose. We'll get it out of the way for you at the moment. But a couple little partitions in there, a couple little drain holes. Sure, we're all going to use them for fly spray or hoof paint as well. So nice if you have a little spill in there, everything's going to drain out. And then carpeted wall on the whole door to complement the hooks. Anywhere Cimarron's putting these hooks now too, we're trying to carpet behind it. We've all seen the used trailers going down the road with the marks in the doors, whether they're metal or aluminum trailers. So nice to be able to protect that. And then too, on our shared spaces with our horses and our partition walls in particular, acts as a nice sound deadener, but nice to be able to do that too. And then Cimarron does a great job with these hooks. Really oversized, really tall, really deep off the wall too. So you could put some extension cords on there. You can even probably hang a few hoses from there too. And the nice part about them being so tall too is we're not going to find them in a heap on our floor in our tack room after we travel down the road for a little while. Nice little bus window above that too. Nice to be able to move some air through these tack rooms, even especially if you've got some sweaty gear in there after you've had a long show, to be able to move some air through the trailers. So we'll step inside. First and foremost, you'll see we've gotten away from the carpet or the rubber mat on the floor, and now we're doing this fully sealed down kind of rubber diamond plate design, very similar to also the coin shaped design that you would see, but permanent seal to this. So real easy to clean this out, whether you want to sweep it out, vacuum it out, and then it's going to have a ton of longevity too. We're seeing this in a ton of those high travel areas, amusement parks, grocery stores, that kind of stuff too. So really holds up really well. We like it quite a bit. And then everywhere else coming inside this tack room, you're seeing carpeted walls. So we've got a carpeted boot box here on our gooseneck drop wall. Really nice storage in here, first and foremost. And then 2-fold and 3-fold. It's a step to get into your gooseneck, and it's a nice spot to sit and change your boots, take a little rest, and get yourself comfortable again and get yourself sorted. Next to that, the only reason that we haven't done a full width boot box in here was to get this half moon shaped water tank. So great to be able to bring some water from home. Great to be able to offer it to our horses while we're on the road. If we're pulling into a show or something like that that doesn't have water turned on yet, nice to be able to have a lot of water with us. 48-gallon capacity on this too, and complements that hose that we had in the door. We can run that outside, gravity fill all our 5-gallon buckets, or you can sit a 5-gallon bucket right here at this intermediate valve. It'll fit right underneath that, and you're good to go. So we've got a ton of different designs of 2+1s on the lot right now. Our other air ride trailers are also 710 tall trailers, but we've done those in a V-nose configuration. A lot of efficiency out of those going down the road if you're putting a ton of miles on your trailers. Really, really nice. The downfall is you lose a little bit of space up in your gooseneck. So we've done the typical tapered nose on this one. We've got bus windows opposing each other. So my wife spends a lot of time in her gooseneck over the summer camping out, and it's a great spot to throw a bedroll, throw an air mattress. Can stay really comfortable in these Cimarrons too. We'll talk a little bit more about it when we get in the horse compartment, but insulated roof, one piece all the way through the tack room, all the way to the back of the stock area. So we're gonna stay a lot more temperate in these trailers, and then obviously you can get a little bit of cross ventilation going too. And then wide open space for storage too. Obviously a blank slate. If you're throwing a bunch of totes and trunks up there, you have that ability. Up in the ceiling, you will see nice little clothes rack there too. Nice to be able to have that. Get some of your show coats, get some of your clothes out of your tow vehicle if you've got a big crowd coming with you. Nice for them to have the back seat and not have to share it with all your hanging clothes and your bags and things like that. So a little more added storage. And then you'll see in our nose, our cameraman flipped our LEDs on for us too. Opti brights throughout the trailer. Everything is on an LED too, so very low power draw. We can run those off of our 12-volt deep cycle battery even when we're not hooked up to our tow vehicle. So coming around over here to driver's side, we've got a post, kind of a T-post. You can see from floor to ceiling that these saddle racks fit in that track of. We can add saddle racks for you. We can pull these off. These are infinitely adjustable, a couple little nuts and bolts. We can move these as low as you want, as high as you want. We can pull all this stuff off as well. And then, like I said, if we've got these parts, we've got a couple saddle racks and blanket pulls in our parts department here at Transwest too. So, you know, if everything checks all your boxes, but you need one more rack or you'd like a few more pulls, and it's something you're looking to go home with today, those are the kind of things we keep in stock at Transwest. So we have that ability for you to add those kinds of things if you want to. And there's a lot of versatility, like I said, with these. I'm a short guy, so I certainly wouldn't want stuff all the way up here. So we can bring these down to a more manageable level. And like I said, if you add a few on here, you've got the room to do it. So now, working our way back to our partition wall. Another real big bonus with these 2+1s is this pass-through door. We'll talk about the box stall on the opposite wall of this, but a ton of people utilize it for storage. So you have that ability, obviously, to work your way right into that stock area too, which is a really, really nice thing. And then this whole wall is carpeted as well, including the door. So we've got some more bridle hooks all the way across on either side of our door too. So you've got a ton of storage, you've got a ton of options to hopefully keep yourself a little bit more organized. So work our way back outside. We'll close up the tack room door. Like I said, do an oversized tack room door here just gives you a bit more width. With that 5-foot tack room, you've got a ton of space in there. Nice to not be able to busting up all your things as you're working your way through a narrow tack room door. 25 years this year. All our 25 models, Cimarron celebrating that now. So big added bonus, big appeal to these 2+1s is a secondary ramp. Whether it's an emergency, whether it's some fluke scenario, your parking situation, whether it's how you try to utilize your trailer and load your horses on a daily basis, having the second ramp to walk your horses straight out of a box or straight out of the straight loads in the back partition is a really, really nice option. You'll obviously have the rear ramp as well. So rubber matted ramp, and then once we get inside the trailer, it is, like we said, one of our more loaded out trailers. So a great option that this is included with is the Werm flooring. Werm is an acronym for We Eliminate Rubber Mats. No more pulling mats out in the summer at the end of the season, washing all this stuff out with a pressure washer. This stuff is a non-porous, rubberized pour-in flooring. Kind of pours in and travels out like hot asphalt or concrete almost, and then sets up and is, like I said, a permanent barrier between the outside world and whatever your horses are going to do to the inside of your trailer and your floor. So we'll talk about how Werm complements Cimarron so well. Is Cimarron's aluminum floor, tongue and groove type style that fits together with 4-inch on center cross members. Really stout stuff, hard to compare to any other trailer on the market. With that aluminum flooring, certainly if you're in a rubber matted trailer, you're going to want to pull those mats depending on usage on a regular basis, and keep an eye on things, keep things clean. Always practice good housekeeping, even with an aluminum trailer, especially with your horse's urine. That will corrode it very quickly. You'd be surprised. So with the Werm flooring, you've got that permanent barrier, that impenetrable barrier, and really, again, continue to practice good housekeeping, but once a year, depending on usage, nose this thing up a little bit, get your pressure washer out and go front to back and wash it out, and you will be very happy with that product. So talked a little bit about the Werm. We are standing in the front box of our trailer. You can see we've got two nice big partition doors here behind us. Get these guys opened up and we'll see into our straight load section of the trailer. And we can pin these right on that wall there so that we are designed to travel with those wide open if you want to use this as one big wide open trailer. This post is on a little spring-loaded latch and on a pin down at the foot. Very easy to pull this out and make a wide open trailer with that. So now we talk about that. Everybody's always dealt with your partition, that if you want to make two boxes out of this and close these partition doors, you've got your front box to utilize for a mare and foal or a young yearling or something like that, or you're running some livestock or something like that. Can certainly shove them up front too, and then you can utilize the 2-horse straight load aspect of it, or what a lot of people are really falling in love with, I'm going to leave that one pinned for a second, is this traveling divider. So we don't have to decide anymore before we leave the house if we are going to leave in this configuration and ditch this at home in the driveway and decide we're running 2 boxes and then end up somewhere, especially if you're a shipper. You can very easily stow this just on a barn door roller like we're used to seeing in our barns. We don't have to remove any of the butt bars. We just unclipped our hay bag. We left our other hay bag here connected. And it is simple as 4 pins, lining up your holes and getting things tucked in away. And this, again, just like these doors are designed to be stowed in that open position while you're traveling, so is this partition. So you get a lot of space in here. You get a lot of versatility out of these trailers. Whether you're using it to haul young horses or mares and foals, whether you've got just a couple livestock animals at home that you want to be able to have, you know, an open box for them to ride in. Again, the versatility with these 2+1s, I think, is really second to none. And then with this trailer being loaded up, worm flooring, this traveling divider, one big difference you'll notice between this partition and a lot of others, first and foremost, jail bars all the way across to the very back. They extend all the way to the end. Continues to let you have a lot of airflow, but we don't really stop here at the head either. We've continued the partition all the way down at the front, in front of the horses. So keeping their feet, keeping their legs away from each other, keeping everybody safe is certainly a big consideration when building out these trailers. One other thing you'll notice too, anywhere we have a connection point, these are where our chest bars will connect in. This is a metal fitting here, or metal bracket here. The chest bar fitting on that will be plastic. And that's something too, we talk about the quiet ride with the carpet on the head walls of the bridle hooks. It's just one more thing that adds to the quiet ride in these Cimarrons too. The plastic on metal connection, really bouncing down the road, you're not going to avoid bouncing down the road. So air ride's helping with that a lot. Werm's going to keep our horses a lot more comfortable, and then those plastic connections too are going to keep things a lot quieter. So we'll work our way back out the side ramp. We'll close things up over there for you, give you a look at the side profile of this trailer as we're working our way out. And again, this big wide open area too can be used for storage all day long. If you're hauling a couple of horses to a show, if you're taking a long weekend, it's a great spot to throw your hay, your shavings, keep everything out of the bed of your truck. Close this door up too. And you'll see in this guy, we've got a huge oversized bus window. So if we have 3 horses in this trailer, we've got a big oversized bus window for them here. On the escape door on the driver's side, we've also got a drop window, and we'll look at the back when we take a peek. But we've got roof vents throughout this trailer, so we can move a ton of air through this trailer. And then at the head of our passenger side straight load horse, you'll see our partitions staring at us right now, but we've got another drop window. So jail bars in this. Cimarron does an awesome job with these because there's no hardware, no latching mechanism or anything to get that jail bar out of there. It's just a matter of lifting this up a little bit, letting those teeth fall back into that track, and then right back up. So if you're traveling, if you're stopping at a fuel stop, if you want to offer some hay or water to your horses without having to go inside, you have that option. If you're loading or unloading and want to snap a lead shank on them, you can do that as well. And then of course, wintertime, we're not going to want all that wind blowing over them. So we've got some small bus windows in there. We can still crack those open, get some air moving through the trailer and keeping everybody comfortable. You start seeing probably the worst spot to point it out, but all of our latches, all our paddle latches for our ramps, all of our latches for our drop windows, our tack room doors are all going to be keyed alike. So very easy to lock this trailer up too. You'll get a set of 4 keys, kind of master keys with it. And like I said, if you're parking your trailer overnight somewhere, you want to throw a couple tack trunks or leave some hay in your trailer and keep it locked up, you have that ability even in the horse compartment. So let's talk about running gear real quick. Dexter Airflex axles. Like I said, those that run the air ride don't ever want to go back to it. And the easiest sell, or the ones that we don't ever have to sell on the air ride system, are semi drivers. They've utilized the systems for decades now and can't say enough things about it. And from my experience, I can't say enough things just from the seat of the pants experience driving a trailer with air ride. The first bridge expansion joint you go over and your truck makes all kinds of noise and your drink shakes up in the cup holder, and then you don't feel the trailer go over it behind you. You can only imagine what your horses, what your stock, how they ride, and what they're feeling. So you combine the torsion or the Airflex axles with the Werm flooring, and they really are riding on air with a nice thick cushion too. So these are 7,000 pound rated axles. Talk a little bit about the air ride of old. You were dead in the water in the past. If you had an air leak, if you had a dead battery, that is long gone. These are default torsion axles. If you ever have a dead battery, if you ever have a leaky airbag, if you ever have a line that comes disconnected, you're never dead in the water with these new systems. Really, really nice to have that peace of mind. Obviously, if you have a leak, if you have a dead battery, we would certainly suggest getting it fixed. But in theory, you could certainly run down the road for the life of the trailer without those airbags inflated. But again, really, really awesome system to utilize. 7,000 pound rating. They are electric drum brakes behind our wheels here, so make sure your tow vehicle, whether you're towing with a semi or a 3/4 ton pickup, make sure you've got a trailer brake controller and you've got control over those settings. And then we are on 17.5s here, so fills up these wheel wells a little nicer with the air ride system. Really like the look of these two, and like we said, matching aluminum spare back there under the gooseneck. So real quick, we've got Dutch doors, double Dutch doors over the rear ramp, so we do have that option to pin these open and travel with these in the open position. Again, same latch there, you can lock those up tight if you want to, but again, like I said, designed to run open so you can get some of that vortex air coming through the back of this trailer. Talked about that air ride being lower. Really shallow ramp. It's not very steep if you are loading some mares and foals and you got to do a little pushing. I've done a lot of it. Really nice to not have to go up a really, really steep ramp. So we talked about our Werm flooring inside of here. We talked about our straight load section as well. Just real quick while I step inside, I want to talk about Cimarron's insulated roof. One piece, front to back. I talked about it keeping you a little more comfortable in your tack if you're spending some weekends in there or something like that. Again, to complement that, two-way roof vents too. So summertime, we can open those up. I am not going to reach those to be able to show them to you today, unfortunately. Some other trailers I usually can, but we can suck a lot of air in these vents summertime, and we've got 4 of them, so a couple in the front box and a couple over each head of our horse back here in the straight load section. So nice to be able to do that. And then wintertime, we can build up a lot of air. If you had 3 horses in this trailer wintertime and most of your drop windows closed up, you could create a lot of condensation in here and a lot of warm air with all those bodies in here. So nice to be able to open those up in reverse and suck some of that air out too. I'm gonna close up this rear ramp, talk about a couple of things Cimarron's going on over here. I know it's just a rear corner of a trailer, but a little bit of functionality. New standard for 25 feature that they're adding. First and foremost, we'll talk about that. LED reverse lights integrated in all 4 taillights. So first, that's my favorite part about the Cimarrons. They do 4 taillights across the back of the trailer. Lots of visibility. Everything's LEDs, just like our awning lights and our interior lights, but all our marker lights and our taillights are also LEDs. And then they integrate that taillight or that reverse light inside of all 4 of those as well. So nice to be able to shed some light on those. No change to our 7-pin connection. It's still going to be the same connector that we're used to seeing on all our pickups of late. And then looking down below that light as well, we've got control of all of our interior and our exterior kind of floodlights as well. So multiple switches can run our floodlights over our rear ramp. We've got some floodlights both passenger side as driver and driver's side as well. So you've got control of those as well. And here's another look at those locking latches. I'm going to close up this side so that when we get near the end of it, you'll get a nice clean look at the whole side of the trailer. But again, a nice look at those double Dutch doors. And then working our way to driver's side, we've got a drop window at our rear horse's head. Again, just like we said on passenger side, these drop windows are great. big wide open space. We can move a ton of air through these, and then Cimarron does a great job too. I've now driven through Kansas enough with some crosswinds that I've seen these drop windows swing in the wind so much that even I've watched them close, latch themselves closed. So Cimarron does a really nice job with a little suction cup there that holds things tight against the wall while you're traveling down the road. You're never gonna see those flapping. And it is a pretty positive hold on it, so you got to give it a little tug to get it off, which is a nice feeling in my mind. And then close this guy up. Passenger side near your tack room, we obviously have some tie rings over there as well, but certainly nice to have a couple options over here if you want to tie up some horses, getting tacked up, getting loaded up. And then this is going to be our escape door, our man door into our front box stall. So like we said, we've got another drop window in here. A little bit smaller than our others just to fit the framework of that door. Still lockable, still moving a lot of air through those. And anywhere we share a space with a horse compartment like this, we'll double latch it. So paddle latch and your normal latch there as well. And then here's our access into our front stall. So if you're hauling some horses, you want to use this bar to kind of keep things a little more secure while you step in and check on things, you have that ability. It's really easy, socket just pops out right there. And you have that ability to step in here, and certainly if you're just hauling a couple in the back, nice easy access here too to check on things if you want. Just above the door too is one of our 16-inch awning lights that will really, LEDs, they'll turn night into day for you. So again, like I said, I think these 2+1s are certainly our most popular. I think the versatility from them, they really can be used as a part-time stock trailer if you're looking to do that, if you're in the small game a little bit. And then for your horse needs, whether you're showing every weekend, you want to spend a little time and camp out in the trailer or the gooseneck over the weekend, or you're just doing a lot of running, really good transport trailer too. So if you guys have any questions about it, my email's down below, luke.sullivan@transwest.com. My cell phone's 859-509-1282. And then please reference our trailer specifically, this trailer specifically on our website via that stock number. It's 5N241705. Thanks for your time today, everybody. También hablo español.